Total barrier. If there is any place where there is a single valve, then this will be a barrier. What needs to be done for that? It could be toxic, acutely toxic material, or any material with a pressure above 4 bars, or the material is above the flash point, where the concentration of the material is higher than its flash point, or the temperature of the material is above 60 degrees. So we should not control all such isolations with a single valve. We must also mandatorily install a blind on it. We need to ensure positive isolation, mechanical and double isolation before further work can be executed. Before starting work, we have a minimum requirement. Single isolation is the minimum required, but baseline isolation. We must ensure this isolation standard before starting work. Which activities where our pressure will exceed 4 bars could be acutely toxic, above the flash point, above 60 degrees temperature, or any hot activity we need to perform in any pipeline or equipment. For that we need to maintain the baseline isolation standard. Hot. What will be the role of the IWAP team in energy isolation? So whenever we need to submit any work plan or works for preview, it will be received by the integrated work activity planning team. After that, they will review it and identify whether isolations are required for safe execution, whether we need isolation to safely execute the work or not. If we need to apply isolation for it, then the scope of the isolation cell will also be defined within it, specifying where the isolation needs to be done and what parameters will be defined as per the IWAP team integrated work activity planning team. The first thing to consider is the system or equipment to be isolated. Which equipment do we need to isolate? Then what will be the location of the isolation? We need to close the main control valve. We need to disconnect the energy isolation from the main panel. After this, installation in the region will follow. Why is it necessary? During our work for our people, what type of energy, in what sense, and how much exposure was there? And finally, what hazardous material could have been involved in our activity? Our people have properties that, due to isolation, have prevented exposure during work execution. So these things will definitely be considered. Where do we need to do insulation? And on which equipment? What was the reason for insulating the item? What will be the properties of the source of energy and its hazardous substances with which we need to protect our people during work execution? If we have isolation requirements for working with any equipment, we minimize.